if you are a wife or seeking to be a wife, I think it's important to just help to inspire the person and motivate the person that you are with. And so, whether you are a wife or a husband, I think back to myself, how many failed ventures that I have jumped in and, it didn't go well. Like, I've had ventures that I've jumped in and they've been good, but I've also had ventures that I've jumped in and, they just haven't taken off in the way that I thought they would. As I think back to my biggest supporter, which is my wife, um, there's times to where, I've started something and it just didn't go as planned. And, kind of figuratively, I've, fell down and got my clothes dirty and, what I'm saying, messed myself up. And, I've been scraped across the ground and stuff, right? But the person who is there to help in every situation without, you know, really being judgmental has been my wife. So, you know, um, I know people who also who have had wives and their wives are, um, just not as supportive. But like I said, as I feel like I'm beat down and pressed down and scraped through the mud, the person who is there to, just encourage me is my wife. Like, she's the one who would, when those clothes get dirty, when those things mess up, she's there to pick me up and help wash the clothes up and say, hey, Damien, like, try it again. Like, things didn't go as planned, and we understand that, but, just try something different, try something else. And I think that goes a long way because, it makes me willing to be the type of person that will do anything for my wife. And, most of what I do is for my wife and, just for my family and for myself as well, but, I'm doing things to try to make our family better, to make our living better, to make things around us better. I think it goes a long way to have somebody who is supportive behind you, who can, just spur you on at them times where you feel like giving up.